girls who want to become biological men or real man, it's quite easy. The first thing to do is to avoid the sun, completely the sun, okay? And the reason why is because I suspect that most of you want to be handsome men, okay? And the ultraviolet will destroy, will create deep creases crisscrossing your face, so you're not going to be handsome, okay? And the skin of the face is extremely sensitive because we have valves in our veins that makes sure that the blood is getting pumped upward and into our face. Also, the heart will pump more blood into the head, into the face. So we're getting a lot of hormones, a lot of vitamins, and a lot of poison into our face. So this is why that our face will be aggressed by ultraviolet, either outside or in a room where all the walls are white. So our face has a lot of aggression happening to its skin. Okay, so avoid the sun completely. And the second reason, the second action to do is, and it's quite easy, is to be vegetarian, and especially eating only fresh fruits and fresh edible leaves. But we don't have any choice to cook our rice or our wheat grains. But we can eat uncooked flax seeds or uncooked sesame seeds, okay, and other or nuts. Nuts is part of the of fruits, actually, okay. But privilege only like fresh food that has all its nutrients and also all its water in it, okay, and also edible leaves. And the reason why. And the third action, which is not required to become a biological man, is to only at 18, ask your family doctor for patches of testosterone, natural testosterone. And what I mean by natural testosterone, I mean the actual molecule, such as these here. Okay, this here is these three are natural androgens. This is androstenedione, testosterone, and dihydrotestosterone. You ask for a patch of the natural testosterone. My father didn't have that much. He didn't have a lot of testosterone in his body, so for about 20 years of his life, he had to take stick patches of natural testosterone on his body. So when you ask your family doctor for patches of testosterone, ask them in patches, and make sure it's the natural hormone, okay? Because the natural hormone is safe at safe concentration, just as vitamins are at safe concentration at normal physiological concentration, okay? Just make sure of that. So now Now there's three reasons why. Okay, I mentioned the reason for avoiding the sun completely. There are like three reasons why not to eat beef and pork, and there are like two reasons why to eat fresh fruits and fresh edible leaves, and just soak flax seeds or sesame seeds, or try to eat as much as raw. If you don't have any choice to cook them, you don't have any choice, okay? Like for example, rice and some of the wheat grains, okay? And cook them in bread. There's like the three reasons for not eating meat is that the first reason, meat, pork and beef and chicken, and especially beef and pork, will bring on too much cholesterol into our body, and cholesterol is a precursor of progesterone and the sex hormone, especially for you girls, because you have ovaries. It will be progesterone. Okay, so like I said, brings in too much cholesterol. That cholesterol will get transformed a lot into progesterone, and then the estrogen. You don't want that. Okay. Also, the second reason of not eating pork and beef, and probably chicken and other meat, especially beef and pork are the biggest. Okay, it will give you too much. It brings on into your gut too much proteins, and too much small proteins and amino acids into your bloodstream, and your brain register that. And when your brain registers a lot of amino acids, a lot of calcium has come in through the intestine barrier, your brain will stimulate your ovaries to overproduce progesterone and estrogen, because those are your building blocks. Okay, and you don't want that. Okay. The third reason why to avoid beef and pork is because beef and pork gives you too much iron. Iron is a poison. Our body cannot get rid of it, and eventually it gets into the skin of our face. And it will do the same thing as ultraviolet light from the sun. It will age our skin, decreases crisscrossing our face, which is not good. Okay. The first reason of ingesting phytoestrogen, the first reason of eating fresh fruits and fresh edible leaves, and soaked flax seeds and so on. The reason why is that we're ingesting the right amount that we need, okay, to have a healthy bones, a healthy brain, of proteins, amino acids, which will not the amount of proteins and even the type of proteins will not tell our brain to overshoot our testosterone and our progesterone. So yes, being vegetarian will feminize boys, and being vegetarian will masculinize girls. Okay, so this is what we want. And and the second reason of eating fresh fruits and edible leaves and grains, nuts, and also flax seeds and sesame seeds and other seeds is because of that we're ingesting the right amount of phytoestrogen. Okay, the phytoestrogen are 4 groups: the lignans, the isoflavones, the naringin, and the cholecesterols. Okay, this is we found lignans. This is a phenol. We find a lot of phenols in dark chocolate, pure chocolate. We found this is a lignan, cicoisolathicylicinol. We find some like in weak concentration in apples and pears and other fruits, but we found 1,000 times more concentration in flax seeds and sesame seeds of the lignans. This particular one is cicoisolathicylicinol, and has a strength of about 5% compared to 17-beta-estradiol, which is the most feminizing hormone. And when we ingest cicoisolathicylicinol, our gut bacteria transforms it into antilactone, which has a potential, feminizing potential, or estrogen-like effect of 20% or to about 30%. Okay, so which is good, but I'll explain why it's good for you girls who want to become biological men. Okay, now the rationale. Okay, what is the phytoestrogen, okay, will link up almost 100% to the estrogen receptors, okay, but it won't have the same probability of effect, okay. For example, okay, I think that could be it. Okay. Now here's an example of what I'm talking about, okay.
never mind these two. These are synthetic estrogen, ethanol estrogen, estradiol, primarin, and this is the actual women's estrogen, the most potent estrogen, 17-beta-estradiol, which is the feminizing hormone by par. Okay, and here's an isoflavone, a genistein, and here's his enterolactone, a gut bacteria from seco-isolaricirizinol. The lignan gets transformed into enterolactone, and these are the shape of the molecules, and then these are the probability of linking into the estrogen receptors, and these are the effects. Okay, ethanol estradiol has a 99% feminine effect. This is an arbitrary amount that I placed. Okay. Same thing here, 101. It's just a diagram. It's just an hypothesis. Okay. This molecule linked up to 17-beta-estradiol to the receptor has a femininity effect of 100%, and genistein has a 50% effect, and enterolactone has a 10% femininity effect. Sorry. Okay, so it's an hypothesis, okay? But it's like, I don't know the exact probability, but I'm just doing it for the show, okay? So what it does, it lowers phytoestrogen, will feminize boys, will masculinize girls, because what it does, it lowers the femininity effect in girls. But at the same time, when boys ingest phytoestrogen, the phytoestrogen will, by telling to the brain to stop transforming cholesterol into progesterone and testosterone, it will lower the testosterone at a non-virilizing concentration. And this is what I mean by that, okay? This is what I mean by this, okay? So, this is a concentration of the two molecules, estrogen and testosterone. Probably, I should have mentioned 17-beta-estradiol. There's actually, just off note, okay, there are three natural estrogen of women, three natural women's estrogen, which is westrone, 17-beta-estradiol, the feminizing hormone by par, and westrone. There's also a 17-alpha estradiol, but it's less potent than 17-beta-estradiol, but I will say something about 17-alpha estradiol in a few minutes, okay? So coming back to our diagram here. So this is the line of being asex, okay? Turning when high levels of estrogen passes this line, you become a woman. When your concentration of testosterone passes this line, you become a man, okay? For boys, this is for only boys. This is for only girls born with ovaries, boys born with testicles, okay? So this is the rationale. So the estrogen, what it does, it will lower the effect, the feminizing effect below this line to red at this line, as a matter of fact. And you'll have just enough, the phytoestrogen will have just the right effect to keep your brain healthy and your bones healthy. And your brain can be healthy just by minute amount of 17-beta-estradiol or other estrogens. And same thing with phytoestrogen. The phytoestrogen will keep your bones healthy and your brain healthy without feminizing you. Same thing with boys. Boys who have low counts of testosterone because of phytoestrogen, because it will lower by 20% to 80% your testosterone. But the phytoestrogen for boys will keep the brain healthy and the bones healthy. Okay, so that's the rationale by being for girls who wants to become biological man, real man, to become vegetarian. Okay, I have drawn. This is an example I've drawn. The forms and sensibilities of receptors. Also, I'll explain that another time. Okay, it's that at different parts of our body, the brain, the bones, the DNA wool on each of these parts, boobs and ovaries, will build a different form of the estrogen receptors, and that different form will have a different probability of linking, and at the same time a different probability of feminizing effect or masculinizing effect for testosterone. Okay, so now another thing, I haven't placed that into this diagram, but it's the estrogen effect on the epiphyseal plates, growth plates, which is the cartilage plate. So, and the trick is, if you do question your sex, okay, you question yourself if you should be a woman or a man, cover your ass. Okay, if you question yourself before 13 years old, 12 years old, or 10 years old, before that, just be careful. Cover your ass, in the sense that high levels of estrogen, and according to the recent scientific experiment that I read, the biologists have stated that 17 alpha estradiol will stimulate the chondrocyte, the cartilage cells, to turn itself into bone cells. Okay, so if that happens, your long bones, the bones of your arms, the bones of your legs, will stop growing. But other types of bones, they don't really have growth plates, but some of them, but the growth plates of the bones inside the hip bones never really solidify. They could go on beyond 30. Most of them will solidify by the time they're 31. But like maybe 2% to 5% of the people, they never solidify beyond 80 years old, as a matter of fact. Okay, but the long bones of the arms and legs will stop growing by 18 for girls and 21 for boys. So cover your ass on that. The reason why I'm becoming vegetarian is to prevent your body, your ovaries, producing lots of estrogens, namely, according to biologists in the Western world, 17 alpha estradiol. Be careful, because I suspect that testosterone, when it gets changed into estrone, it will get changed into 17 alpha estradiol. So testosterone, in a sense, you have too much testosterone, it can stop your growth, meaning you're gonna stay small. Okay, so if you're not very careful, you don't study, you don't inform yourself, and you decide to become a man at 18 or 21, but you're only 5'1", you might as well become a hobbit man or a dwarvish man, the one that you find in Tolkien stories. Okay, so that's what I mean. So that's a rationale between becoming vegetarian. I have read in the French .simo.fr a young girl of 15 years old who wants to become a man, but she's in a bad situation because she's only 5'1". She's only 158 centimeters, but her twin sister is vegetarian, is 171 centimeters, 5'6" or 5'7",
I would say 5'6", 8. So it's in the range of maleness. Okay, so these two girls are twins. One that eats lots of sugar stuff and lots of meat. Avoid sugary stuff, because sugary stuff, the brain will register, the brain will transform, because when you have a lot of sugar stuff, and a lot of sugar in your blood, your body will produce a lot of estrogen to get rid of that, because estrogen is important to place sugar and fat into fat cells. Okay, so you can get a lot of that. And I have examples of drag kings. These are cis women posing as men, okay? And in France, a lot of women, especially feminists, they became vegetarians. So they are taller, they're more androgynous. So this is an example of a cis women in Berlin, French cis women posing as a man in nightclubs, or sometimes in her private life, but in public she portrays herself as a woman with dresses, skirt, or kind of like a skirt uniform. And these, I suspect, they might be French cis women in Berlin posing as men, so you could tell, and they're not taking testosterone. All of these cis women posing as men, or female transvestite, have like they stick fake beard, fake facial hair on their chin. So, as a matter of fact, they can produce facial hair just by shaving their face, their duvet, their feminine duvet from your face, and just by shaving the blade will slice some of the surface cells, and your skin will register that. When your skin registers that, it will produce epidermal growth factors, and also cytokines and interleukin 6 stress hormones, and the stress hormones will promote masculine facial hair on your face. Okay, so that's a rationale. If you do become vegetarian, make sure that you're ingesting vitamin B12. Okay, being vegetarian, the only molecule that faults us is vitamin B12. But vegetarian, about like 20,000 years, 30,000 years ago, they were getting the vitamin B12 by eating fruits or edible leaves that has been contaminated by bulls and cows' shit. Okay. Vitamin B12 is produced by bacteria that's in our gut, and also the gut of vegetarian. The difference, because the bulls, the bacteria that produces the vitamin B12 is in one of the stomach of the bulls, and also all their intestine. The bacteria that produces vitamin B12 in our gut is in the large colon, which it's too late, it doesn't get absorbed, okay? Except for certain humans in India, okay? So this is unsweetened or soy milk being enriched with vitamin B12. And the vitamin B12 there, 50%, is the methylcobalamin, which is a version of vitamin B12, but it has a force of, in fact, of only 20% of the real vitamin B12 that we need, which is methylcobalamin, which I bought these tablets. Okay, these are sublingual tablets that you place under your tongue. As a matter of fact, there's some tablets with natural testosterone or natural Westril or Restadiol in pills. Same process. You put them under your tongue. It's the same process as the patches on your skin. When it dissolves, it goes immediately 5 seconds into your bloodstream. And so it's very quick, very fast. Okay. So good luck.